Now, most recently, people may have seen you on the E! Network on your family show, Married to Jonas. So can you tell us a little bit about that and how that's been, having cameras follow you guys around?
It's definitely been different. It's a new experience. I never thought in a million years that I would be involved with a reality show. So it's been a cool experience. It's actually made more time for me to be able to hang out with my family, because I wound up moving back from LA to be around for when we were shooting and all that, and it was a really fun experience, and I'm hoping we get to do it again.
Your private place. Oh, take me to your private place. Your private place.
Now, for people who aren't familiar with you, can you explain how you got started in music, about your band, and what's going on?
Yeah, sure. I have been playing music since I can remember. Started my first band in high school. Actually, no, middle school. And just kept playing. College came around, was in rock bands during that time, and we would tour up and down the East Coast while not in school. And then from that point, I was working on a solo record, and a guy by the name of CJ Abraham out in LA heard it, flew me out there for like 2 months to work with me, and we kind of just started developing like a sound a little bit, and then next thing I knew, I was living out there. And then since then, just been doing a lot of writing, recording. Did a tour back in October. Now looking to get back on the road again with a new release. So I've been out in LA and New Jersey, back and forth, and writing, recording, and getting ready for like my first EP release. So I think that's up to date.
Awesome. Now, did you grow up playing music? Was it in your house a lot, in your family, or did you kind of just discover it yourself?
Oddly enough, my oldest sister, Dina, she was very much into musicals and plays. So I would have to see her in Annie like 4 nights in a row, because the whole family would go and no one could babysit me. But as far as the kind of music that I'm into now, that's kind of just been a slow progression of, listening to a little bit of like my parents' generation of music, like through, Dean Martin, then moving up to like Al Green and, I guess the throwback stuff, and kind of pulling from there. Oh, does that answer it? Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm still getting used to this interview stuff. It's one of the first ones.
Now, tonight you're playing with Midnight Red in New York City, and you mentioned that you've been on tour before, you've gone up and down the East Coast. So is there any certain tour spots that you've liked, any venues, anything cool that you've visited?
Let's see. Favorite. I really liked being in Philly, even though it's not too far, just because I finally got to have a cheesesteak. So that was pretty awesome. Honestly, for me, just getting to travel from state to state, I feel like there's always an adventure, just like through random people you meet. So it's hard to pinpoint like, one state that is like my favorite. Trying to think. I've been on some tours that were just like miserable. Like my first tour I went on, I was in a short bus, and we had to paint it like with just like regular house paint because we couldn't keep it yellow. So that was just an eyesore going from state to state. And I think some of those nights, like I think Virginia was maybe one of the most fun nights I had that I can remember from touring, just with like the people I was with. That kind of made it special.
Now, if you could create a tour, who would you want to be on the tour with you? Any artists that you dream of touring with or opening for or having opened for you?
I've really been into this one dude, Mayor Hawthorne. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Yeah, I think he's awesome. I would love to open up a tour for that guy. Also, I would love to tour with Jamiroquai. I'm like a huge Jamiroquai fan, so I think that would be a dream come true for me.
Now, you got to play the Bamboozle Festival in New Jersey this spring, which is a pretty big deal. How did that go? What was that like?
Bamboozle was a lot of fun. From a young age, like I've always gone to Warped Tour, and I would always be in the audience, just kind of, standing there and just like, oh, I hope one day I get to play on the stage, want to be able to play these festivals. So to actually get to finally do it was a pretty amazing feeling.
Do you have any pre-show rituals that you do before you go on stage? Anything?
I get really nervous. I drink way too much water. But it always fails when I do that, because then halfway through the set, I really have to go to the bathroom, and I can't. So that's why sometimes halfway through the set, you'll see me like dancing around a little more. It's just really because I need to relieve myself. But no, I try to just be calm, but no really pre-show ritual. Probably just some like vocal warm-ups, and I drink a lot of water. Maybe tea if it's available, if it's a classy night.
Now, you mentioned that your sister Dina inspired you when you were younger from doing plays. Does your family members help you now with the music that you're creating and things that you're working on?
Yeah, absolutely. They're extremely supportive. So like to have that support system back home to kind of just keep encouraging you, because sometimes in this business it's tough. It gets discouraging, or things don't go the way that you hope. So to have my family there for me is pretty amazing. And then also when I need people to like sell merch for me and stuff, I can just call my dad and he's right there, and he can do it, especially for like the New York and New Jersey shows.
That's awesome. Now, have you had any weird fan moments yet? Anything weird happen? Anyone recognize you anywhere random?
Oddly enough, there has been some weird stuff that's been happening. When I was in Australia a ways back, and there was some girl who recognized me there. I was very, very flattered by that, and she was crying. I don't know, I hope I didn't say anything to offend her. But so that was really cool. I had someone give me a Valentines Day gift. And that was pretty flattering. I wasn't planning on getting one this year, but I think it was Arlene. I remember her name was.
So hopefully Arlene sees this because he remembers.
I think Arlene will. Thank you for the Valentine's Day gift. It was pretty awesome. In Italy, there were these girls that gave me an Italian flag with like my song lyrics on it, and so that was really cool. And then there were these girls like waiting at the airport for me. So it's extremely flattering. Like things like that are really what keep me going, because I don't understand. It blows my mind. I really don't know how else to put it.
Now, in the beginning of September, you released a single. So you're doing a couple tour dates. What's coming up next for you?
Let's see. I have some college shows that I'm doing, and right now I'm just trying to book within Jersey and New York. So I'm still waiting for some dates to come through. But I just plan on playing as much as possible while writing. If you want to find out more stuff about me, go to www.deleasa.com for all your information that you care to know about me.